What if the thing everyone is calling a hunter in the sky right now isn't actually hunting anything at all? And what if the real story, the one nobody's telling you, is stranger and more exciting than the rumor itself? Before we go any further, hit that like button right now, because where this story is going, you will not want to miss a second of it. Subscribe if you have not already, turn on notifications, and send this to one person who loves a good mystery, because this one has a twist waiting at the end. Over the last few days, a claim has been spreading fast across social media. It says a gigantic object, 100 times bigger than the famous interstellar comet 3I/Atlas, has suddenly appeared in our skies, and is somehow targeting it, chasing it, maybe even hunting it down. The headlines sound thrilling. Massive object arrives. It's hunting the alien comet. Astronomers in shock. But here's the uncomfortable truth. When you actually trace that claim back to its source, it does not lead to NASA. It does not lead to the European Space Agency. It does not lead to any peer-reviewed paper, any observatory, or any working astronomer with a telescope pointed at the sky. It leads to a handful of clickbait videos and social posts recycling the same dramatic sentence with no data behind it at all. No coordinates, no image, no confirmed detection. Just a scary sentence built to make you click. So does that mean there is nothing real happening around 3I/Atlas right now? Actually, the opposite is true. The real story is happening quietly in observatories and research papers, and it is honestly more incredible than the fake one. Real scientists have just found out that this comet is far bigger, far older, and far stranger than anyone expected when it was first spotted a year ago. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is true, what is fabricated, and why this specific object has become one of the most important scientific discoveries of the decade. Let's rewind to where this all began. On July 1st, 2025, a network of telescopes called ATLAS, short for the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, was doing its usual job. This system exists for one reason: to scan the sky every single night, looking for anything that might be heading toward Earth. It is funded by NASA specifically as an early warning system, built to spot dangerous rocks long before they ever become a threat. On that ordinary July night, one of its telescopes in Chile picked up a faint dot of light drifting through the outer solar system, somewhere near the orbit of Jupiter. At first, it looked like nothing special, just another distant rock among millions of similar objects already cataloged in our solar system. But within a day, something changed. Astronomers at the Minor Planet Center, the official body responsible for tracking every comet and asteroid in our solar system, ran the numbers on this object's path, and the results made their jaws drop. This thing was not orbiting the sun the way every planet, moon, asteroid, and comet in our solar system does. It was moving on a path so extreme, so wide open, that it could only mean one thing. It did not come from here. It came from somewhere else entirely, from another star system, passing through ours for the first and only time before vanishing back into the depths of space forever. That made it the third confirmed interstellar visitor in the entire history of human astronomy. The first was Oumuamua, spotted in 2017, a strange cigar-shaped object that baffled scientists for years and still sparks debate to this day. The second was Comet Borisov, found in 2019, a more ordinary-looking icy body that behaved much like the comets we already knew from our own solar system. And now, this third one earned the name 3I/Atlas, with the number 3 marking its place in that short but remarkable list. The I standing for interstellar, and Atlas honoring the survey that found it. Its formal scientific label is C/2025N1, following the standard naming rules astronomers use for comets, a naming convention that has stayed consistent for over a century. Here is something that still gives researchers chills. Once they knew where to look, astronomers dug back through old telescope images from months earlier and found the object faintly sitting there, completely unnoticed, in data going all the way back to May 7th, 2025, nearly 2 months before anyone realized what it was. It had been quietly drifting through our solar system the entire time, hiding in plain sight inside archives nobody had reason to search, until this discovery gave them a reason to look. Somewhere, on a hard drive full of forgotten images, this ancient traveler had already been photographed, waiting patiently to be noticed. Now, why does something like this excite scientists instead of frightening them? To understand that, you need to understand what actually makes an object interstellar. Everything native to our solar system, every planet, moon, asteroid, and ordinary comet, is gravitationally locked to the sun. It travels in a closed loop, a repeating path that brings it back around again and again, sometimes every few years, sometimes every few thousand. An interstellar object breaks that rule completely. Its path is what astronomers call hyperbolic, meaning it is moving too fast and on too open a trajectory for the sun's gravity to ever hold on to it. It is a visitor passing through, nothing more. A traveler whose journey began around some other star and will end around some other star, with our solar system serving as nothing more than a brief stopover along the way. For 3I/Atlas specifically, researchers measured an orbital eccentricity of a little over 6. To put that number in perspective, a perfectly circular orbit has an eccentricity of 0, and even the most stretched out comets that actually belong to our solar system rarely creep past an eccentricity of 1. 6 is a completely different universe of movement, a number so extreme that the moment enough observations came in, there was never any real doubt. No committee vote was needed. The mathematics settled the question almost immediately, and the speed involved is genuinely hard to picture. When it was first discovered out near Jupiter's orbit, it was already traveling at roughly 137,000 miles per hour relative to the Sun. As it fell deeper into the Sun's gravity, that speed only grew, and near its closest approach to the Sun, called perihelion, which happened on October 29, 2025, it was moving at a genuinely staggering rate, one of the fastest speeds ever recorded for any object passing through our neighborhood of space. Neither Oumuamua nor Borisov ever came close to matching it. And despite the panic, some corners of the internet tried to stir up when this comet was first found. It never came anywhere close to Earth. Its nearest approach to our planet happened on December 19, 2025, at a distance of about 1.8 astronomical units, roughly 170 million miles away. At that exact moment, it was actually on the far side of the Sun relative to us, meaning it was never visible to the naked eye and posed absolutely zero danger to anyone on this planet at any point during its entire visit. No agency needed to issue a warning because there was genuinely nothing to warn anyone about. Now here is where the real story, the one hiding underneath all the noise, actually starts to get interesting. Because in the months since discovery, something remarkable has happened. Scientists went back and refined their measurements, and what they found completely changed the picture of this object. When Hubble first photographed the comet in July 2025, it could only place an upper limit on the size of its solid nucleus, somewhere less than about 5.5 miles across, hidden inside a much larger cloud of gas and dust called the Comet. That number was already impressive, but it was just an early estimate, limited by how much of the nucleus was drowned out by the glowing dust around it. Astronomers openly admitted at the time that they could not fully resolve the core, and they said as much in their published notes, which is exactly the kind of honesty you would expect from real science rather than a headline chasing a viral moment. Then, after the comet passed its closest point to the Sun and began moving away in late 2025 and into 2026, astronomers finally got a clean enough view to separate the faint light of the actual solid core from the much brighter haze surrounding it, and the new measurement was striking. The nucleus turned out to have an effective diameter of about 1.6 miles, or roughly 2.6 kilometers, with a small margin of uncertainty either way. That may not sound like 100 times bigger than anything, and it is not, but it does make 3I/Atlas significantly larger, and more massive than Comet Borisov, the second interstellar object ever recorded, whose nucleus was never even fully resolved by any telescope. In terms of raw mass, scientists now estimate this comet weighs somewhere in the tens of billions of tons. An object with real physical substance moving through our solar system at breathtaking speed. So when that viral claim says something 100 times bigger just arrived and is hunting 3I/Atlas, what it is almost certainly doing is twisting real documented size revisions about the comet itself into a scary, invented second object that does not exist anywhere in the actual scientific record. The comet got bigger in our understanding. Nothing new arrived to chase it. There was no second object, no pursuit, no confrontation happening above our heads. Just better instruments, giving us a clearer picture of something that was already there the entire time. All right, quick pause here. If you are enjoying how this story keeps unfolding, do me a favor and tap that like button right now. And drop a single word in the comments describing how this makes you feel, curious, amazed, or maybe even a little unsettled. Because I genuinely want to know, and it helps this video reach more people who need to hear the real story instead of the fake one. But size was only the beginning of what researchers uncovered. The James Webb Space Telescope turned its instruments toward the comet in December 2025 and found something nobody expected. Its coma, the cloud surrounding the nucleus, was unusually rich in carbon dioxide compared to typical solar system comets, along with clear traces of methane, a gas that only survives at extremely low temperatures. That chemical signature is a genuine clue about the environment where this object originally formed, likely a cold, distant region around another star, long before it ever drifted anywhere near our sun. Every gas trapped inside a comet's nucleus acts almost like a diary entry, silently recording the temperature and chemistry of the place it was born. And this particular diary was written somewhere we have never been able to visit directly. Even more remarkably, an instrument aboard NASA's Swift observatory detected the object releasing water vapor at a rate of about 40 kilograms every single second. And it was doing this while still unusually far from the sun, much farther out than most comets typically begin releasing water at all. That tells scientists this comet has an unusual internal structure, one that starts reacting to sunlight earlier and more actively than anything native. Scientists describe this as the comet switching on ahead of schedule, behaving like it is built from slightly different material. And then came perhaps the most jaw-dropping discovery of all. In early 2026, astronomers using the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in Chile studied the chemical fingerprint locked inside the comet's gas, measuring specific ratios of carbon and nitrogen isotopes that had never been directly measured in an interstellar object before. What they found suggested that 3I/Atlas likely formed in the outer edges of a very old star system, one considerably older than our own sun. Researchers at the University of Liège and University of Edinburgh, working together on this analysis, described the comet as carrying unusually high isotopic ratios, a chemical clue pointing toward an ancient origin far outside anything we typically study. Some estimates now place its age somewhere in the range of 8 to 12 billion years old. To put that in perspective, our entire solar system, the sun, the Earth, everything you have ever known, is about 4.5 billion years old.